Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Now I've been redoing my bedroom and there's a lot of blue in it, and this is a decorative pillow that I'm going to be using in there. And if you look closely at it, you'll see that there's 4 squares here stitched together. Now all of your squares can be different prints or just 2 different prints. And then in the middle I have another square, and I've selected the dark blue from this print right here. On the back I have a solid piece of fabric that's also blue, and then an option is to put piping on it, and I will have a separate link for that. So if you're interested in learning how to put piping on, make sure you go down to the description section and click on that link. Okay, let's get started. The finished size of this pillow when it is done will be 16.5 inches. If you want a larger pillow, then you need to cut your 4 squares out larger. So I'm just using 2 different fabrics, a solid and a print. They're all 8.5 inch square. So you're going to match up the solid and the print together and stitch a 1/4 inch seam on both pieces. Then press your seams flat. Now after you've pressed the seams on the back side, then you want to press on the top side and press pushing your seam towards the darkest fabric. So I have both of these going towards this solid color right here. Now take one of the rows, either row, and just flip it like this. Now bring them front sides together, or I always call it pretty sides. Go to your seam and you're going to match the seam up. So you want to make sure that the seam on the bottom is going in the opposite direction than the seam on top. And it should feel nice and flat in there if you have it lined up properly. Then go ahead and place a pin to hold the seam in place. Place a few more pins across. Then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way across. Then press this seam, unfold, and press it on top, pushing the seam in one direction. Now you want to determine how large your square should be here. You can make it any size you want. You can make it a really small square or a large square. I chose to cut mine 7.5 inches. So cut 2 squares out in your desired size. Now here are my 2 squares. You need to cut a hole in 1 square only in the center. Then take the other square and bring pretty sides together. Place pins around the edges and stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way around. At all of the corners, go ahead and trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch wide. Now I'm ready to turn mine front side out, but I'm going to cut my hole just a little bit longer or a little bit bigger. Don't worry, it's not going to be seen at all. So go ahead and turn your square front side out. So after you've got it turned front side out, you want to go in with something and poke those corners out. If they're being stubborn and they're not coming out, you could take a straight pin and just go into that corner and begin just pulling it out a little bit. Now try not to rip through your seam. Once you've got your corners all pulled out, then go ahead and press this flat. Now take that square and make sure the hole is underneath. Don't have it up on top, so no one's going to see it. Then center it inside of your 4 squares. So you want to make sure you have the same amount extending out past each corner. Then go ahead and place pins to hold it in place. Then you're going to stitch a 1/8 inch wide seam right along this edge all the way around. So here's what it looks like on the front. And then right now this is what it looks like on the back. If you want to put piping on the edges, this is the stage you would put it on, and you would put it on your front section of the pillow, this particular side here. If you don't know how to do piping and you would like to learn, there will be a link listed in the description section that you can go to and check it out. So once you've got your piping on, if you want it, remember it's just an option, you don't have to have it. Then take your fabric for the back and put pretty side down against the pretty side here and line it up all the way around. Place pins around all of the edges. Before you stitch the pieces together, indicate an area where you're not going to stitch over because you're going to need that to turn the pillow front side out. So right here I have 2 pins. Over here is where I'm going to start. So I'll back stitch here and I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam and I'm going to go down to this corner. When I get a 1/4 inch away from this edge, leave the needle down through your fabric, lift up your presser foot, turn the fabric, lower the presser foot, and continue stitching. So do that 1/4 inch wide seam all the way around. When you get here to the 2 pins, then back stitch again. Then after you finished all of your stitching, trim some of the excess fabric off at the corner edge. Trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch, again on all 4 corners. Now go in through your opening, reach inside, and turn it front side out. So this is what it looks like at this point. Now you need to put in the Poly-fil stuffing. I suggest for each pillow you're probably going to need close to 1 full small bag of Poly-fil stuffing. You can buy it at Joann's. I buy mine at Walmart, but not all Walmart stores will have it. You can get it on Etsy.com and Amazon.com and many other places. So when you go to put it in, you want to break it up into smaller chunks. Insert it through your opening. You're going to fill in up at your corners and keep filling from this edge, working your way all the way down. Now, when you go to close up this opening, I recommend 2 different stitches you can use to do it. One is a whip stitch, one is a ladder stitch. And I'm going to refer you to another tutorial that will go into detail on how to do both of those stitches. So before you do any one of those stitches, you're going to turn your raw edges inside, pin or clip together, and then do one of those stitch patterns. So here again is the finished pillow. Again, mine has piping around the edges, and there's the back of the pillow all around to the side again, and here. Now I used a ladder stitch to close up my opening, and mine is down here on this bottom edge. So put it on any edge that you want. It doesn't really matter at all. And again, don't forget about the piping link. Piping adds a lot of personality to your pillow. So make sure you check out that link also. So as you're scrolling down to the description section, it's below your YouTube screen, then make sure you also follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.